fight! Take the 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 fight! Take the
He's on his own other level doing what he's doing. And I'm the only one who's really on this scene to step in and lace up the boots. So that's why on June 13th, we're going to beat the AO in Manchester and we're going to handle business.
Tommy Fury reacts strongly after claims of disrespect toward John Fury, showing how personal the situation has become between both camps. The tension between Tommy and Eddie Hall escalates beyond promotion and talk, turning emotional and heated. This moment highlights how family pride and respect are now driving the entire rivalry forward.
Take
Bro, you just went 4 rounds with what the f*** you talking about?
Tommy, you suck, bro!
Come on!
Tommy Fury explains that the decision to face Eddie Hall is being approached with caution, highlighting concerns about health and safety rather than just entertainment. While fans are excited to see Eddie because of the spectacle he brings, Tommy emphasizes that behind the scenes there is also responsibility and awareness of the risks involved. This adds a more serious tone to the rivalry, showing it is not just hype but also carefully considered.
No, all the way around the board. Because we think about his health, you know, obviously you guys and fight fans, you love to see him in the ring because he brings that entertainment, but we think of his health and everything like that.
Eddie Hall expresses clear frustration after the situation doesn't go as planned, admitting he is disappointed about missing the expected confrontation with John Fury. His emotional reaction shows how personally invested he is in the rivalry and how much he was anticipating the face-to-face exchange. Even in disappointment, he keeps a sarcastic tone by suggesting a digital confrontation, which keeps the tension and drama alive despite the missed encounter.
I'm fucking gutted. I was looking forward to a good skirmish with good old John today. Well, there we go. We'll have to make do. Maybe we can get him in digitally.
Tommy Fury makes it clear that he is choosing action over words, explaining that he avoided getting into online arguments with Eddie Hall and instead prefers to settle everything inside the ring. He emphasizes that he has allowed the build-up and emotions to speak for themselves, while he stays focused on fight night. This shows his confidence and calm mindset, suggesting he believes performance will answer all questions when it matters most.
Say, yes, that is the reason why I'm sat around the table. You know, I could have easily got on the phone to Eddie and had a back and forth, this and that, and said, oh, you can't say this, or I'll do this, or I'll do this. But no problem. I'll let these do the talking for me, Dad, on the 13th.
Eddie Hall highlights the massive size and weight advantage he believes he brings into the fight, stressing that raw power and mass can't be ignored in a matchup like this. He suggests that the physical difference between him and Tommy Fury is significant enough to change the outcome with a single clean shot. In his view, if that kind of power lands cleanly, it could end the fight instantly, showing his confidence in knockout potential despite being the less technical boxer.
Down on all those, but what you cannot beat is sheer size. You know, I think there's going to be 100+ pounds in weight difference.
Yeah.
50 kilo. And I don't care who you are, if that catches you on.
John Fury reacts to the ongoing tension by describing Eddie Hall as overly argumentative and disrespectful, making it clear that he doesn't tolerate that kind of attitude from anyone regardless of size or strength. He emphasizes his own willingness to confront Eddie directly, even suggesting he was ready to step in himself if needed. However, he explains that Tommy chose to take over the responsibility and handle the situation in the ring instead, showing how the family is united behind settling the rivalry through boxing rather than continued verbal conflict.
Very argumentative, isn't he? You know, and I don't know why he chooses to say odd stuff to me. Because I won't stand it from nobody. I don't care if you're 40 stone and 8 foot tall. My intention was I was going to fight him, myself. But Tommy said, you know what, Dad? Let me.
Tommy Fury dismisses Eddie Hall's physical threat, arguing that even moments of pushing and aggression in face-offs show no real strength advantage from his side. He downplays Eddie's power and questions his credibility as a fighter, suggesting he is simply a smaller, blown-up middleweight rather than a true heavyweight threat. Tommy also recalls the heated verbal exchange, implying that emotions were high and both sides were shouting during the confrontation. His tone reflects confidence and psychological warfare, trying to mentally weaken Eddie before they step into the ring.
He's not very strong at all, because he pushed me like that. So the man's got no power. He's a blown up middleweight. Very small guy, and he's going to get knocked spark out.
He was screaming, "I will kill you." I don't know whether he was directly.
No, I was screaming. I was screaming that to him. I was screaming that to him.
I saw it come out of his mouth as well. So what do you make of that?
He must be copying me. He must be copying.
Eddie Hall reflects on how the rivalry escalated from verbal exchanges into a real fight agreement, claiming that his criticism of the Fury family's fighting talk led directly to him being offered a contract against Tommy Fury. He suggests that Tommy has been put forward as the representative of the Fury name, almost like a test case in the ongoing feud. His comments carry a mix of frustration and confidence, as he questions the family's intentions while also acknowledging the seriousness of stepping into the ring with a trained boxer.
He's always shouting off, saying he's a fighting man, fighting family, fight anyone, anywhere, anytime. So I just said, you're all a bunch of fucking pussies, like, full of shit. And before I know it, I had a contract to fight Tommy Fury, pushed under my nose. So it feels as though he's pushed his youngest son out for the, like a sacrificial lamb for the Fury name.
Frank Warren expresses his dislike for unnecessary drama surrounding the fight, making it clear that despite being a promoter, he does not support the chaotic or overly personal aspects of the build-up. He emphasizes that the focus should remain on the actual matchup itself rather than distractions outside the ring. His stance highlights a more professional perspective, suggesting that the fight already has enough appeal without additional controversy.
I like it. People think because you're a promoter, you like all that stuff. Me, I didn't like what happened.
Duke McKenzie gives a business-driven view of the situation, explaining that moments like these are part of the modern fight entertainment era rather than a negative for the sport. He suggests that controversy and crossover appeal only increase global attention and ticket sales, pulling in audiences who might not normally follow boxing. From his perspective, the fight business thrives on spectacle, and incidents like this simply add more interest and commercial value to the event without harming the sport itself.
It wouldn't surprise me, but like I say, I don't see there's any harm in it. It doesn't bring the sport into disrepute in any way. This is the show business world that we live in. There's the fight game and then there's the fight business. And from a business perspective, that's probably just sold another 1 million tickets worldwide to people to watch this fight because they're going to...
The Wade Plamines highlights the growing tension between fighters during promotional face-offs, explaining that while pushing and shoving is often expected, crossing into open-handed slaps goes too far and raises safety concerns. He also points out that security does its best to control these heated moments, but situations can still escalate quickly when emotions run high. His analysis suggests that such incidents reflect the intensity of modern fight promotion and the thin line between hype and disorder overall picture.
So, I mean, I don't mind fighters pushing and shoving. Probably shouldn't be slapping each other at the face-off. Security did a pretty good job of corralling it while they could, but I thought it was just an...
Dave Coldwell explains that even small physical gestures like touching or slapping an opponent's face can completely change the tone of a press conference or rivalry. He emphasizes that while pre-fight build-ups are often full of jokes and hype, once someone crosses that physical boundary it becomes much more personal and serious. According to him, this kind of action escalates tension instantly and pushes the rivalry into a different psychological level, where respect drops and emotions take full control leading into the fight build-up.
In that, because that's a little bit naughty, because I know it's all, you know, fun and games at press conferences, but when you lay your hands on another man's face, whether there's an egg in it or not, you've laid your hands on his face, and that takes it to another.
Tommy Fury breaks down the technical side of boxing, explaining that raw strength alone does not guarantee punching power or success inside the ring. He points out that many people outside the sport assume the strongest man automatically hits the hardest, but real boxing depends on technique, timing, and proper body mechanics behind every punch. Tommy highlights how speed, snap, and correct form are what truly generate power, not just size or muscle. While he acknowledges Eddie Hall's physical threat, he also suggests he would rather face a slow, heavy opponent than a fast, skilled fighter who can also punch, showing his confidence in handling bigger but less technical opponents through boxing skill and experience.
See, a lot of people that don't know the fight game, they would go, please behave, he's the strongest man in the world, but I don't mean you can hit hard. I've been in the ring with big strong men before, like massive men. In boxing, you got to know how to punch and put your back and your shoulder and everything into it, and you got to put your knuckles over as well. It's not just about throwing it like that or like that. There's a whole technique to it. And believe it or not, the quicker the shot is, and it makes it harder. You got to have that whip in it. So I don't know. Listen, obviously you don't want to get hit off him. You don't want to be in the firing range. But at the end of the day, I'd prefer to be in the ring with a big man like him than a nimble, quick 15-stoner that can bang as well.
John Fury confidently backs Tommy Fury, insisting that Eddie Hall is underestimating the challenge ahead and will struggle once real exchanges begin in the ring. He suggests that Eddie assumes Tommy's size is a disadvantage, but in reality he views Tommy as a fast, sharp pocket rocket who carries surprising power and speed. John also references training impressions, implying that even body shot power has already felt significant enough to concern Eddie. He further criticizes Eddie's conditioning and questions why shorter rounds are being discussed, arguing that this reflects doubts about endurance. Overall, his comments aim to build Tommy's image as the more complete and prepared fighter while mentally pressuring Eddie before fight night.
Tommy's going to do the chinning with him, as you've seen today. Eddie Hall, when Tommy's fought him, he's not going to want to fight again. You don't know what he's in for. He thinks because Tommy's small, Tommy's like a pocket rocket, isn't he, compared to him? And I got that body belt on, I'm feeling the power. He can't take that. That's why he wants to do 2-minute rounds, isn't it?
John Fury expresses strong confidence in Tommy's ability to control the fight, suggesting that Eddie Hall is underestimating the challenge ahead. He describes Tommy as quick and explosive, believing his speed and technique will overwhelm Eddie once the action begins. John also references body shot power from training, implying it has already made an impression on Eddie. He criticizes the idea of shorter rounds, suggesting it reflects concerns about endurance against a trained boxer. Despite the criticism, he acknowledges Eddie's courage for stepping into the ring, but still insists that Tommy's skill level and experience will make it extremely difficult for Eddie to land clean shots or compete effectively.
You don't know what he's in for. He thinks because Tommy's small, Tommy's like a pocket rocket, isn't he, compared to him? And I got that body belt on, I'm feeling the power. He can't take that. That's why he wants to do 2-minute rounds, isn't it? He can't do the 3. I can't blame him. You've got to give Eddie all props because he's not a fighter. He's going to get in with Tommy knowing full well what can happen to him. And the only thing he's going to try and do is swing. He won't be able to hit him.
The Wade Plamines gives a critical technical breakdown of Eddie Hall's boxing limitations, questioning his ability to land a decisive punch against a trained opponent like Tommy Fury. He explains that Eddie struggles with fundamental boxing concepts such as distance control, timing, and rhythm, which are essential at any competitive level. While acknowledging Eddie's reliance on the right hand, he argues that it is being overused rather than deployed strategically. According to him, a punch with real knockout potential must be treated as a carefully timed weapon rather than constantly thrown, otherwise it loses effectiveness and drains energy. His analysis suggests that unless Eddie adjusts his approach, Tommy's technical boxing ability will likely give him a clear advantage over the course of the fight.
Pull off a miracle right hand, what I'm seeing makes me even more skeptical that that's possible because he doesn't understand space and distance, he doesn't understand timing and rhythm, he doesn't understand how valuable his right hand is, and it seems like I'm being counterintuitive because all he's throwing is right hands, but he needs to value that thing. It needs to be, like I said, a weapon of mass destruction. You only bring it out at certain points so Tommy doesn't get a read on it, and also so you don't gas yourself.
The Wade Plamines delivers a harsh assessment of Eddie Hall's recent sparring footage, expressing clear disappointment with what he has seen. He questions the quality of training Eddie has been receiving and suggests that the work being done is not translating into effective boxing performance. His tone reflects concern rather than praise, implying that the technical progress expected at this stage simply isn't visible. By pointing out flaws in Eddie's sparring, he reinforces the idea that preparation is still far behind what would be needed against a trained boxer like Tommy Fury.
The new sparring footage that I just saw is abysmal. I don't know what Eddie's been training. I don't know who has been training him. I know that he has been training, but my goodness, I don't know who with, what they're supposed to be working on or why, but let me just show you what I mean. Eddie Hall, training footage and sparring footage just dropped and it is not.
Frank Warren highlights the massive attention the fight is receiving and explains how high-profile matchups like this are driven by both opportunity and business value. He points out that fighters are stepping into the ring for life-changing money while also acknowledging the risks involved in boxing. From a promoter's perspective, he explains that his role is to guide fighters into bouts he believes they can win while also advancing their careers. He also emphasizes the commercial success of the fight, noting that the financial rewards and global interest make it a major event that benefits everyone involved, both inside and outside the ring.
Grabbed everybody's attention for various reasons, and they're getting, I mean, Tommy's getting life-changing money, and you know, how can you, I can't knock that. You know, you're in the ring, it's a dangerous place to be, and you know, my job is if I see a fight that I feel he can win and I'll put him into it, then I'll do that, and it gets him, you know, gets him further up the ladder. Not only do I think he can win it, I think, you know, obviously he you know, this is a high-profile fight, but he's getting a truckload of money for it, so you know, it ticks all the boxes.
Dave Allen reacts to the matchup between Eddie Hall and Tommy Fury with a mix of surprise and humor, pointing out the unusual nature of a world's strongest man stepping into a boxing ring. He questions the dynamics of the fight and suggests that despite the rivalry and hype, there may also be a financial motivation behind it for both sides. His comments highlight how crossover fights often blur the line between competition and entertainment, with fighters potentially benefiting from the massive attention and earnings such events generate.
World's Strongest Man, amazing. Do you know what I mean? Brilliant. He's fighting Tommy Fury. I thought they were mates. They probably are mates. They're probably looking for fucking fortune as well.
Dave Allen gives a mixed reaction to the crossover fight, expressing clear interest as a viewer while also criticizing it from a pure boxing perspective. He admits he respects both Tommy Fury and Eddie Hall, and acknowledges that the world's strongest man brings a unique appeal to the event. However, he also describes it as part of a growing circus in boxing, where exhibition-style matchups between athletes from different sports are becoming more common. While he questions the legitimacy of it as a traditional boxing contest, he still concedes that the spectacle and entertainment value make it worth watching for fans.
Shit, of course I'll watch it. I like Tommy Fury a lot. I'm a Tommy Fury fan. Eddie Hall, I said an Eddie Hall fan. I like the World's Strongest Man. A lot of respect for him. So of course I'll watch it. I'll watch it as it's a spectacle in it. It's part of the new bit of circusry that's come into boxing. All these exhibitions, different people from different sports coming in. But for all intents and purposes, as a boxing match, what a load of bollocks. Yeah, I don't think I don't like it too much, but I'll watch it because it's like it's interesting in lots of ways, and I think people find it interesting.
Vidal Riley gives a balanced assessment of the matchup, acknowledging Eddie Hall's massive size and physical presence while still leaning towards Tommy Fury as the likely winner. He references having sparred with Eddie before, noting his extreme weight and strength, but questions how effective that translates into a boxing ring. While he admits Eddie remains unpredictable and dangerous due to his power, he still believes Tommy's boxing background and technical experience give him the clear advantage. Overall, he frames the fight as a strong promotional matchup that makes sense for entertainment and selling power, even if the skill gap appears to favor Tommy Fury on paper.
I mean, Eddie, when I sparred Eddie, he was 140 kg. I don't know how much he's gonna have to be for Tommy. But Tommy should win, innit? Like, should win. But Eddie Hall, who knows? Who knows? It makes sense for Tommy, innit? It's a good fight.
Simon Jordan frames the event as pure entertainment, emphasizing that it should be viewed in the spirit of a fun spectacle rather than a serious sporting contest. He openly admits that he would not want to step into the ring himself against someone as physically imposing as Eddie Hall, highlighting the intimidation factor involved in the matchup. Despite that, he expresses no issue with Tommy Fury participating and even speaks in a tongue-in-cheek manner about the idea of him getting hit, reinforcing the casual, show business nature of the fight. His comments underline how crossover boxing events blur the line between competition and entertainment, where the focus is as much on spectacle and audience reaction as it is on athletic merit.
If it's a good fun event and you take it for what it is, I mean, I wouldn't want to be in it. You know, I wouldn't want to be across the ring from this fella. But notwithstanding, I'm quite happy for Tommy Fury to get a punch.
The Wade Plemons breaks down the matchup by focusing on the technical gap between the two fighters, suggesting that Tommy Fury should be able to control the fight if he can settle into his rhythm early. He points out Eddie Hall's raw power and athletic build but criticizes his lack of refined boxing skill, describing him as someone who relies on heavy, swinging punches rather than structured technique. He references past crossover examples to highlight how size alone does not guarantee success in the ring, emphasizing that boxing IQ, timing, and experience play a major role. While he acknowledges Tommy Fury is not an elite-level operator, he still argues that Tommy has enough fundamentals and experience to handle Eddie effectively, especially as the rounds progress.
Oh, he's going to take it seriously. Now, I expect Tommy to pretty much do what he wants with him if he can get, Eddie to relax a little bit after the first, second, and maybe third round. Because as big as Eddie is and as athletic as he is, he can't box very much. He's not a great boxer. He swings for the bleachers. He's got great power, obviously, and he's a good athlete. Like, he's a really good quick-twitch athlete. But even in the Hafthor Bjornsson fight, I can't even believe we're referencing this in terms of a Tommy Fury fight, but even in that fight, I know Eddie had like one arm because he had a shoulder messed up, but Thor outboxed him and stuck a left hand on him. He was the southpaw. It was tricky, but listen, and Tommy is not like a high-level operator, but he better be high-level enough to win.
At this point, the fight between Tommy Fury and Eddie Hall has turned into more than just a crossover spectacle. It's a clash of experience versus raw physical force, with pride and reputation on the line for both sides. Mentally, Tommy Fury looks far more composed, confident in his boxing IQ and ability to control distance, while Eddie Hall carries the dangerous unpredictability of pure strength and aggression that could change everything with a single shot. Fight night pressure will decide everything, because if Eddie lands early, it could flip the entire script, but if Tommy survives the storm, his technical edge should take over. The real question is whether experience in the boxing ring can truly neutralize world-class strength and size difference when the lights are brightest. One mistake could end it instantly, but control could turn it into a masterclass. So tell me, do you think this is a boxing lesson waiting to happen, or the biggest upset in crossover fight history if Eddie lands clean?